Um, so what was the hardest part about moving from field work to digital construction?
Staring at a screen every day.
Yeah, I agree with that one, man.
But
It's hard
I'm a
for
cop.
me to, yeah, it's totally hard for me to stare at a screen a lot for a while. I mean, I'm a gamer and stuff like that, but like 8 hours a day, it's pushing it, man. I'm doing it right now because I'm out of work right now, but this I'm putting all my time into this. I'm putting all my effort into this, and to help you guys, to help me, and just to make sure everybody's got a future here. So, but yeah, I like that. That's good. Staring at a screen is hard. you know with field work, you got your tools, you know what to do. You're set in your ways. You do what you got to do to get the job done when you're in the field. Getting used to staring at a screen is kind of hard, and I totally agree with that. So all right.
And it's not
So
not like you put. I just got a different set of tools, and I'm just adding to that different set of tools right now.
yep, yep, exactly. I like that. That's cool. um so what's something you've learned that completely changed how you see construction now?
If you're talking in general, or if you're talking with just with what we're doing with SCD right now,
I would say both.
both.
Let's
In the field, you're basically just doing it and getting it done. You know, you might ask the question, okay, I got a problem here, but somebody else is figuring it out. You're the one right now. I mean, with what I'm doing now, I'm the one figuring that out, and hopefully, I'm the one figuring that out or preventing that even from being an issue.
hmm hmm
You know, and that's the whole goal I see with this. That's where the industry is going. Nobody wants to deal with issues in the field. They just want to put it out there, get it built, and get it done.
hmm
And any issue, comes up requires RFIs, everything going back through. It delays something, whether it
It
actually
delays the
delays the
process. Yeah.
project, but it delays the progress of the
Yeah.
project in one way or another.
Yes.
Where if you have the right people looking at the model, and I mean, I could write a book on how many engineering issues I've found in 40 plus years, you know, and it's just, yeah, you know, in some contract, it depends. Once they first start digging the footer and stuff, electrician's there. And
hmm
if, depending on how fast the schedule is, sometimes there's not answers, or there's not time to get the right answer.
Yeah. Of
It's
course.
getting built and getting turned over, and they want to open up to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, how is this career change affected your? Okay, no. How has this new direction impacted your career and goals and family life?
Well, right now, there's family life is no to nothing, but because you're so full time, and doing school and everything at night. But it is what it is. I mean,
hmm
no pain, no gain. But the whole being able to, I could go to the Bahamas and do this
Yeah.
literally. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no, my son lives 2 hours away. I could go live out of RV and do this, or take the
It's true.
wife, and I mean, that's what I'm looking at. And basically, it's you know, because I'm at the point where I'm not far from retirement,
Yeah.
and I can. And this is something I could do well into retirement,
hmm
because I'll be bored to hell not doing nothing.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that one, man. Yeah. I'm glad I got into this as well because it's right. Like I said, I had a drastic change in my life where I had to move, and now I moved to where I'm living in the desert. I live near I don't know if you know California too well, but California is, they got the desert, then the Central Valley, and then they got the beaches, right?
Yeah.
So I live out in the desert, more towards, like Las Vegas and stuff like that. So I live out in the like boonies, and it feels good to be out here, being able to actually work and not get out from my chair and having to go break my back for 8 hours a day, and you know at the same time have a mental drain as well, trying to guide some apprentices on the direction they need to go and make sure that they're doing their job correctly, and then make sure that I'm getting everything else done correctly. you know I feel like it's been a little bit of a stress reliever moving out here, and moving to this uh VDC digital construction world. It feels like, you know, it feels a lot better. And I hope you feel the same. And that's what we want you to feel the same is we want you to feel really good about this, and we want you to feel good about, becoming a VDC manager, or becoming a BIM manager, or whatever, you're shooting towards. And see, in the beginning when I first started, it was just learning how to become a BIM specialist, just to learn how to model and use Revit and Navisworks and stuff like that. But it got more into the managerial side of this, and I believe both of us can thrive in this, especially you. You have a lot more experience than I do, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to move forward, and you're going to move up pretty quickly. Once we start getting into, we get our NAPA training done again, and we take the test. As soon as we take the test, I'm pretty sure you're gonna soar up there, and you got a really good background. These one-on-one meetings are to get to know you and to see where you're at in your life, and how you're gonna fit in with the rest of the digital construction world. And I'm liking what I've seen so far, so let's keep moving on. Would you tell another person who's thinking about learning BIM? Would you tell that tradesperson, this is a good thing, or if is it worth it pursuing?
If they're the right person, yes. But you have to have somebody who's going to be dedicated, and you want somebody who wants to meet the goals and make sure the goals get met and go that extra mile. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and be able to multitask.
yeah,
So, but
exactly.
but yeah, I would. I mean, if the right person's there, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, is quite honestly, this is. I mean, Lucid is not wrong when what he says. I mean, I've seen, heard of Revit 10 years plus ago. I mean, this is nothing new,
Hmm.
but it's becoming, it's becoming industry standard. So,
Yes, exactly.
and, but yeah, and right now is the time to get into it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I totally agree with you. So
But yeah,
let's move on. So what have you learned so far that's been most valuable coming into this?
well, basically the heartbeat of it, the whole heartbeat, I've heard of it, I've heard, but now I'm knee deep into it.
Hmm.
I mean, getting the understanding of the whole process and what's all involved in it. If like you said, getting into it, I'm like, well, let's just basically see what it see how it goes, and you know,
Yeah, of course.
and but there is, but into it now, the whole workings of it, and seeing how like my past experience, basically led me here.
Hmm.
And I use software every day. Different, maybe not quite the same thing, but it comes down to software.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
I've taught myself a lot of software packages on my own, uh
That's cool.
and just to be able to multitask and actually assist, and actually, yesterday with that training, I mean, I kind of enjoyed that. I mean, just basically take them back and let Brian take the lead on it, because he is my
That's
lead.
good.
And
That's good.
I got Leah,
So you
who's
already
just
set,
starting and eager, and it's like she can't do nothing.
yeah,
But
you already set your BIM lead. That's awesome. Brian's your BIM lead. And then now you got Leah Lamella in there. Am I correct? So we got
yeah,
to get her set up with, all the software programs and stuff like that. Once we get her set up, and you can walk her through that. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have a good team and stuff. So, but
yeah,
yeah,
Jerry and
that's awesome.
Daniel, they're pretty good. They weren't there yesterday because they got confused with that email that went out, and they thought everything was canceled. But
Oh, okay, okay. So, but
so,
everything's figured out now.
yeah, everything's figured out, and
Okay,
and the
cool.
thing is, like I told Leah, she asked me about the software, so I'll get in touch with the people to get you set up. I don't know
Yeah,
time
I'm
frame,
gonna
but
after this meeting, I'm gonna get in touch with Lewis, and we'll see if we can get Leah Lamella on a call or something like that and get her set up.
okay,
Yep.
because and that's the thing, I'm with my where I'm at right now, it's like good accountability and responsibility. Accountability starts with me. If I don't, if it gets to the point to me and I don't do it, it don't get done. So it has to get done. I got hundreds of folders in my work email for each job. I mean, organization. I even got about 30 folders in my STD email. And how long? But you gotta be able to find stuff, and information. It's at your fingertips, but it has to be organized.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
and if in my job right now, I find the answers. So if she comes to me, I'm gonna okay. I'll solve the problem. I'm the problem solver. I'll solve.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
how would I look at it. That an adult babysitter, but that's my role. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what any manager's role should be. They should be the
Organization
problem
is
solver.
it. Organization is key, especially in the field. If you don't have an organized site and organized crew, things are going to be erratic. Things are going to come out wrong, and stuff like that. So it's the same thing here, If we don't organize our team, we don't organize how they're doing stuff, and delegate how they're doing it, then it's not going to turn out right. Most of the time, it's not going to turn out right unless you trust those people enough to know. I know he's going to get this done. I know he's going to get this done right. I know she's going to get this done right. You know them, but with these newer people and stuff, you got to be more on top of it. You got to, you know, guide them along, especially with this type of work right now, because we're all learning. We're all uh, in this program to teach ourselves a better skill for our futures. And so it's definitely organization is definitely key. It doesn't matter what you're doing, organization is definitely the key important thing right there. So which software tools are you most no, wait. So which one of the software tools are you most confident with using? Revit, Navisworks, Bluebeam. Obviously we haven't got into Evolve, so I can't really, tell you like, are you comfortable with Evolve because we haven't even used it yet. But basically, let's say Revit, Navisworks, Bluebeam, Inventor, and AutoCAD. Which one are you most comfortable and confident using?
I mean, I've used Adobe Acrobat, so Bluebeam's very similar. It's
Okay.
more powerful. There's more features, but so I mean, I can figure stuff out there. I mean, Navisworks. I mean, we had I think almost only like 3 sessions on it. The way everything's changed with
Yeah.
Napa, but
Yeah.
I can fumble my way through it. Revit I'm getting better with. I mean, it's you know, uh, a lot of the stuff we learning with some of the software. I mean, it if you used any Microsoft product or any it all has the same flow. You have your
Hmm.
ribbons up top. I mean, everything is almost looks the same, other
Yeah,
than
exactly.
coloring or the actual icons on it. But I mean, I'd rather. I mean, I think Navisworks. I mean, Revit, I'm getting better with. Navisworks, I'm probably a little bit better than Revit. It's
Hmm.
probably about equal, but I mean, Bluebeam, I'm probably a little just because of familiarity with Adobe.
No, okay, cool. That's good. That's good. Yeah, Navisworks is pretty easy to use. I'm actually I'm a little bit more confident in Revit with me.
Yeah,
I put myself in the situation of doing practice projects and stuff like that. On Autodesk, they have some modules on there that you can practice with as well. I'll show you that later on when we get into like the managers meeting and stuff, because I wanted to we could do a an optional managers meeting again today. Um, and if you guys want, you guys can show up. I might not do it today because I'm not feeling good. But what we'll do is maybe I could set something up for maybe Friday. Um, same time around 3 p.m. for the Eastern people, or it would be 6 p.m. for the Eastern people, but it would be 3 p.m. for me. Um, I say I got some practice files, some practice projects that you can present to your team, and the service apartments is not the only thing we should be working on. We should be working on other stuff that we can model as well. This project that I have on ACC practice project helps you get ready for the test and stuff like that. I'll put it up. I'll see if I can email it to you so that way you can present it to your lab tonight and be like, okay, we can work on this as well. But first, we're going to work on the service departments for like a week or two or a week, something like that. And then we'll switch over to this practice project, which, you can, they can all practice modeling electrical, making circuits, running conduit, setting panels, running wire through the conduits and all that. And, it's just a great practice project. So I think it'd be great for each team. So I'll put that out there once we get into a managers meeting or something like that. And but yeah, it'll be good.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But I mean, every time
how?
like with Revit, that just there's some confusion with some of the how they were started it with the live, then they went to the video. I mean, there was a bunch of back and forth. So there's
Hmm.
certain things once I go back and refresh it and figure out how they did it, then I'm
Yeah,
more comfortable with it. But the more I'm in Revit,
yeah,
the
me too.
more I'm comfortable with it. It just
Yeah, they started out with the live stuff, which is cool. We were learning and stuff like that. Um, but then they kind of switched it up with, you know, uh how they were doing it, how they were doing this and how they were doing that on Revit. Like everybody's different on how they do stuff on there
yeah,
and how they go about doing a task on Revit. And there's many different ways of doing it. Like there's two different ways to exporting a Revit file from Revit into Navisworks. There's two different ways of doing it. I got showed both ways from Eluth and Lewis. So
yeah,
then there's, two different ways of modeling. You can model in, a floor plan view, in the section view, and then stuff like that. The camera went out. Um, but there it goes. Okay. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. There's many different ways of doing stuff in this and in these software programs. So I think they need to come up with a way where they're just going to teach us one way so nobody gets confused, because there's just too many. I've got too many questions on how to do this and how to do that and how to do this and how to do that. And yes, of course, it's on the discretion of the VDC manager and how he wants it done and stuff like that. And I think that's what they're trying to get into right now. And I think that's why we went into these BIM labs to better prepare us for a team, a BIM department. When we get to that point, we're going to be controlling a whole BIM department, BIM lead, BIM modelers, all that. So I think these BIM labs are very good. We need to take advantage of these and until the Napa training starts again. And this is going to help us with our certification test. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, because that was the biggest thing. Because they show you the one way, then they're showing you the other way, and you're thinking, well,
Which way's the
you're
better
thinking you
way?
did, yeah, you did something wrong because you're trying to do it that way, and well, that ain't the way. So that was, I mean, a lot of the confusion there. But
Yeah,
like the
no,
more
it's
you're in it and realize,
total
well,
confusion.
yeah, there's different ways to do it, and
Hmm.
you know,
They
and
should just have one person teaching. That's what it should
yeah,
be. As far as if you're going to do the live teaching like that, there should be one person showing you one way. Then if you want to do this teams thing, then everybody already knows what to do as far as, this way, that way, this way, that way, because they got taught by that one person. Now everybody knows. Now we can take our team leaders and we can guide our teams and do these projects. But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Only got a little bit of time here, so um, why should an electrical contractor trust SCD builders with their BIM and their VDC work?
mainly because they're the people doing their BIM or were electricians and understand the means and methods and what you can do, what you can't do, and understand
Hmm.
code.
Yeah.
Because engineers don't understand code, and if it's
No.
being designed, you know, it's designed, it's engineered, but it's engineers don't apply, don't necessarily have to go by the NEC, but to build it, you do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Totally makes sense. I totally understand that.
So
So,
if they want installation drawings, okay, where exactly these pipes are going to go, that's either. I mean, I do that on paper right now.
okay,
So you lay out
that's
a
good.
rack, and here's what you do. It just
Here's the
so you
measurements. Here's everything you need to install it.
yeah. So if they're
Exactly.
not doing it in house with people who know, they need to hire somebody who has the people who know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So, how does having real electricians do BIM modeling make? You already answered that. That's you just answered that right now.
Yeah.
So, let me move on here. Why should systems from the field like one's modeling? Um, why should the people who used to install the systems in the field be the ones modeling them digitally? You answered that as well. It's because we have the experience, us as electricians, especially you, with your experience, you know what needs to be done in the field. You know how it needs to be installed and stuff like that. Now, we would be way better modelers because we know where it needs to go. We know how it needs to be constructed. We know constructability. So yeah, you already answered that one. What kinds of problems happen when BIM models are made by people without field experience? I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory there. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna
It's
you're
just
gonna run your model through clash detection, and you're gonna come up with your reason right there. Exactly.
yeah. I'm gonna have a
You
panel
know.
that has 20 amp circuits that has 20 conduits coming out of it. And space is a premium. Well, material. I
Oh,
mean,
geez.
every stick of conduit has two values to it: labor and material. So
Mhm.
if you want to save money, you reduce both. I mean, in coming out of you know, oh, I'm an electrical contractor. I mean, you know, your profits made on bettering the estimate. So
Yep, exactly. Totally agree with you. Um, how does SCD Builders make sure models match what's actually built on site?
if they're following the model, I mean, it's going to be followed, to the T within whatever the tolerance it is.
Hmm.
But once if you have an electrician model it, he's gonna model it in a way that can be installed that way. I had
Exactly.
an engineer tell me once where, oh, just do it as a drawing, just do it as it's shown on the drawing. It's not going to work that way. I
Mhm.
mean, like you come out here and you do this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he drew it, and I don't know exactly what it was off the top of my head, but I just remember him saying that. Well, just do it as it's shown on the drawings. Well, it won't fit. It literally won't fit.
Yeah. We can't
Oh,
install it.
just
It won't fit.
well,
Plain and
then it was
simple.
just. Then he basically said, "I'll just make it work then."
All right. Well, make it work. This is how it's going to work. We're going to install
And
it this way.
and I'm thinking, well, we already did that way, but
Yeah. All right. So, if you could speak directly to an electrical contractor, what would you tell them about SCD Builder, about why SCD Builder stands out?
we're not engineers. I mean,
Exactly.
literally, we're not
No,
engineers.
that's a
We're
great answer.
tradesmen who know how to build a project, and we're building with our hands, but we're using computer, not tools,
Yeah.
not a
I mean,
screwdriver.
you're basically asking if you're basically speaking to yourself directly at this point because you're an electrical contractor. You're basically asking yourself, you know, why would you tell an electrical contractor how SCD builders would stand out? And you just answered it right there. We're not engineers. We're actually trade people. We've done the work. We know what it entails to install this stuff, which you explained very, very good, and I like that. We'll go with the last questions here since I'm a little past the time, but what would you say to convince contractors that BIM isn't just drawings? It's the foundation for prefab installation and real job site success.
It's all about everything cost management. If you have the blueprint, done to a T, that you can actually render in 3D and actually go see how it's going to look, they should be able to duplicate that in the field without any issues.
Yeah.
And it's not and I don't know what your experience is, but like at the end of the project, you have to turn in as built, red line drawing, whatever you call them. You just eliminated your closeout documents, literally, because it's built, you know, like it's supposed to be built.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like that. I like that. Cool. Do you have anything else to add, or what would you like to say as far as to future electrical contractors that are looking out for somebody like you? What would you say that's going to make yourself stand out among everybody else?
I mean, my past experience, even estimating and project management, I know. I mean, as far as dollars and cents, I've been responsible for dollars and cents. Uh, if you if you estimate a job and then you turn around and PM the job, you know that job better than anybody else. And what this is, it's you're linking the two better than an estimator just handing over a project manager and saying, "Here you go, figure it out." You're the liaison between basically the estimate and the construction.
Okay, cool. I like that. That's awesome.